Hey guys, welcome to another session of FFBE Global News. What you're looking at here is not a glitch. Well, kind of is. It's a scary graphic thing. Alright, let me have some fun because Halloween's almost over and I won't be able to do my spooky ghostly voice. Anyways, this is obviously this image just doesn't fit. Epic fail. We're starting off the news today because I'm just fed up with Gumi releasing the news on multiple days, and usually if you guys watched me since the get-go, I've always been doing like the news video all together, but then sometimes, like, let's say there's trials on Thursday but then they release the banner news on Thursday, then covering the trials doesn't even matter anymore. So I'm so fed up with it. I mean, there's obviously a big reason for it. Every time you see like a Glex event, so currently we have the Halloween event, they want you to pull harder on it. They don't release any news on the new banner until like the day before the banner reset. So I'm getting really fed up by how they do stuff, but okay, whatever. Enough of Jagan's rants. It's just greed, pure greed. It doesn't really matter. We already kind of know what's coming. It's most likely Valkyrie profile. Now, if it isn't, that isn't the news that's released later, then I take it all back. But still, I'm pretty sure it's Valkyrie profile. And even if it isn't, we know the reason why they delay it. They already have the information. They've most likely already created the graphics, maybe even probably took the graphics from JP itself and then just translated into English. Anyways, no excuses. So my deduction is it's pure greed, get people to pull while they're kind of itching to pull. If there was a new releases like the banner news, people might be like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna save for this banner instead of the Halloween one. So that's how they're gonna maximize their profits. Anyways, I'm done. Here we go. Challenge the count. And again, apologies, this is a failed output of their image here. Is way too big. It might work for your game. It was working for me before. So it's either the game or the image. Either way, it's not working properly. So by this Friday, we have this great vampire lore. Now, if you've played the King Mog event, he is decently tough. If you don't one-shot him, because he could dispel your whole team. Now, I'm gonna assume that this is gonna be the same in this actual challenge event because it'll make him more challenging. So if we had, some difficulty with Hasiko during the Malphase and Cersei banner, we might have a difficulty with him as well. As you saw, if you fought him in Legend, he is more weak or prone to physical attacks. So as you can see here, magic attacks are ineffective against him, so use physical attacks. Now, whether for this challenge event, whether the physical magic attack is ineffective, whether that means like he fully resists it, or does he have just high resistance against it, I'm not quite sure. But regardless, let's take the Mughals advice here. It's ineffective, so use physical attacks. And I think, depending on who you plan on using, I mean, Hyo will probably just melt through him. I think Dracu Laswell is a pretty good option as well. If you have, if you have him potted, you have him geared, I think he should be good because he can, Imperial Ice 75% while defense breaking, and also imbue himself with ice and go true double hand. And depending on the weapon you have, you could go with higher damage variants, maybe like Squall's TMR, two-handed large sword, etc. Either way, a lot of options, a lot of physical options, obviously, if you have the physical gears to do it. Mission rewards here. You complete it the first time, you get a 5% trust Moogle. You also get another 5% trust Moogle after completion, so you get 10% total there, which is nice. No limit burst, you get a 10 red vials. I don't remember if he does MP drain in Legend, but I know he does dispel, so at least the limit burst might come in handy. But obviously it's trying to limit you if you're going for all missions. Of course, I will be. I think that's part of the challenge of these trials, is if you come up with a team, theorycraft a team that can go all missions, then I think you've really played the game. I know some people say like, oh no, Jagan, you're just a perfectionist. I don't think that's the case. I really do think if you aim for all missions, it proves that you're really pushing your units and also your strategy to be able to accompany all strategy going into it. Obviously, they give you certain missions to make it harder, but obviously you can take the easy route by not doing all missions. but I definitely recommend at least getting the no items one, which should be easy, I think. Unless there's MP drain. I mean, looking at the no limit versus no items, it really makes me feel that he probably does have some kind of MP drain. And again, it's because I really have killed him too quickly in Legends, so I'm not quite sure if he does. Maybe I should do a test. Yeah, anyways, evoking Esper, this might be a tough one depending on the situation. If he's going to be like MP draining you all the time, I would probably recommend if you have a type 0 unit, 7-star, just self-sacrifice, you know, self-sacrifice, get that Esper, and then just kill ASAP. Dark Elemental stave, which is kind of interesting. I mean, 98 Spirit is not terrible at all. I mean, this is a really good one in my opinion. Dark Elemental, I'm just thinking about like damage dealers will carry Elemental through staves, which is like, for example, Leela. But at the same time, you might be questioning like, why Leela? Because she has a Dark Elemental Fist, which is questionable at the time too, but this is just nice to have. I mean, 98 Spirit is not low at all. Definitely like pretty good for a free well, event reward. 10 MP on top of that, which is great. Wonder if Lucius and Lilith might be good for this one too. Could be. I mean, Lucius doesn't really need MP, and Lilith can pretty much replenish her MP on counters. So something to think about. For the first time, I finally think that the banner units might be good for this one. But again, it depends on what you have. I think Hyos will be able to melt right through them. And we have 3-star Espers. Now, I really do think something is glitchy here. Not quite sure. All of these images were working for me before, but either way, at least you can see them in a larger view, I suppose. We have Odin and Phoenix 3-star. Now, Odin and Phoenix 3-star, both of them are relatively easy if you have the power to kill them. It's kind of interesting that they themed them together, as in like you pretty much need to like kill them ASAP for both of them. So I don't know if that's a themed thing. I know that they were released together on JP as well in one batch, so not quite sure if during that time did JP think about that. You know, let's create a theme where both Espers, you need to kill them ASAP. This is yeah. For Phoenix 3-star, just like quick notes for your preparation. Weak to wind and ice because he's a hybrid of fire and earth. He, in his 2nd-star form, I think he did fire and earth damage together. Now in his 3-star, I think he's only limited to neutral elemental magic. Alright, neutral elemental magic and fire elemental magic. The fire elemental magic is hard hitting, so having a fire resist magic tank should be good. I think there's single target attacks as well, but nothing too, nothing too fearful. The 300% wind and ice resistance just really screams for someone like Barbie or Malphasy, since they do have Barbarizia rather, since they do have bird killers, etc., magic bird killers. This would be probably really easy for them. I would say perfect time for them to shine. And as you know, Phoenix will self-heal himself max at a certain HP threshold. So the whole battle is really do all your missions, and which I think is hold on, let me double check here. Missions is summon Shiva, so summon Shiva, magic finish, and party of 5 or less. So make sure that you have those things coordinated there. But overall, not a tough battle at all. It's really a joke for a 3-star, kind of like Fenrir level ish. That kind of annoyance is kind of like, just finish it off. Now, Phoenix does have 100,000 HP, but is vulnerable to all breaks. So you could break defense, you could break spirit. Most likely, I guess you would maybe go with spirit. If we go with the physical damage route, you could go with someone like, I suppose, like Aloha Laswell for wind damage, and also you could go with Dracu Laswell for ice damage as well, because he can imperil ice, he can imbue himself, and then he can triple cast after using his LB. That might be a quick way to do it. I don't know who I'm gonna go for. I think I might try Dracu Laswell, because I mean he's new and he's kind of cool, so I gotta give him some time to shine there. But obviously I think if you had like Hio and there's no really large sword wind or ice elemental, but if you can imbue ice somehow, maybe you got Ignis, maybe you have Christine. Maybe Christine can be a magic finisher, she can imbue ice to your whole team. Maybe you have 2 Hyos, and her LBs fill up pretty quick too. You can imbue ice with her LB. All those options. Now Odin is probably the one that is going to be most difficult. I know that in JP, even a lot of people who had pretty decent gear, all these 7-star units didn't really help because he is pretty tough. Basically, it's a race to the finish. He has 120 million HP. He's a human, all right. So make sure you have Man-Eater if you're gonna try to kill him ASAP. He has a 100% reduction or weakness to thunder or lightning elemental, and he is vulnerable to only attack and magic break. So you can't break that, which is pretty tough because he hits quite hard. Especially the lower HP he gets, the stronger he gets. He self buffs every single threshold. So the lower HP he gets, he self buffs, and the lower he gets, the higher the buff. He also has damage mitigation, up to 80%, or actually I know up to 100% damage mitigation. I think it's let me double check the threshold. I think it's under 40% HP. So realistically, you want a 1-turn KO, because even if you hit the first threshold, I think it's under 70 HP. So 70 HP is a threshold, 40% HP is a threshold, under 40% is another threshold. So as you're grinding down the HP, the more damage mitigation he has, and the harder he hits as well. So like ideally you want to go physical damage dealers. The reason is because if you can't kill him on one shot, he counters, and he counters up to maximum 10 attacks. You can't provoke the counters away. They go to the counters of the people they hit, but a cover tank can cover it. So I would most likely go with a physical evasion tank, because up to 10 hits, like, you're not gonna tank that even with buffs. You're just not gonna tank it. And like I said, you can't break attack and magic, but you can break spirit and defense. So my best advice would be go physical damage route. Try to 1-turn KO if you can. And the missions are evoke Lakshmi, finish within 15 turns or less, which it's for a 4-star ticket, by the way, and an LB finish for 10 black super sites. If you're going for the 1-turn KO, you might not be able to do all of them, because the LB finish, I mean, if you're going to 1-turn KO, you gotta get the LB in time. How are you gonna finish it off? It's gonna be a weird one. This might be the only instance, and I'll have to think of my party, but this might be the only instance I'm not gonna go for all missions all in one go, but I'm going to try anyway. So anyways, yes, obviously Phoenix can be fed red or Ifrit or fire super sites and earth super sites, so orange and red. And Odin has no speciality. That means all of your super sites will go to him, can go to him, but without any bonus experience, which is, he's one of the best Espers in terms of physical damage dealing. Very good stat reflection, stat reflection, and pretty good killers, but I would probably ignore the killers when I'm building him. Dragon and undead killers, not that used. But he also has katana mastery and spear mastery, 20%. But he has the highest attack if you go with stat reflection. So definitely a really good one to have, and hopefully I will be able to do it on day 1. And a perfect time before our Halloween event and even Valkyrie profile banner comes or goes, we have more story, which means for free-to-play players, here's your break. You get probably about I don't know how much lapis you get, 2,000, 3,000 max, but at least it's still helpful. You can maybe pull some stuff. We also have anima here, as you can see. Anima, if I remember correctly, and I'll be doing a test run on JP for the stream for those who who are interested in learning about them before their release. Anima, I think it does dark damage for sure, but I don't know if it was a hybrid like elemental, like Fenrir. Like Fenrir is like dark and ice. I think Anima might just be dark. Pretty simple. I think it was the most difficult was just get a magic tank. I think it's a single target provoke tank. but with dark resistance. I think dark resistance for all party, and that's pretty much it. Not too difficult, especially in a 2-star form. We don't even have the 3-star form yet in JP, so at least for its 2-star, it's still relatively easy. Bug Eater's Den, yeah, so more story, more Espers, which is nice to have. The animation is pretty cool, it's pretty deadly, so have fun with this one. There's a new little change here. Chamber of Awakening, there's a drop rate increase, so monsters on all difficulty level now drop more awakening materials. I don't know if, because I haven't ran this chamber in a really long time, I don't remember if the highest level chamber drops 6-star awakening materials. But regardless, I mean, unless you're like new player and you're really eager to get some awakening happening, I would just, you know, skip this entirely, because you know, every event pretty much will give you some awakening materials. King Mog events probably the best for them, but even raids, from raid rewards themselves, you'll get some awakening materials here or there. So I would most likely save it. Save your energy from it. But yeah, so each difficulty will be renamed according to unit rarity for awakening material that can be obtained. Okay, so that's also really good too. So the level will be renamed according to the rarity of the awakening materials. That way you're not really confused. It's not just like pro, advanced, elite, and you have to figure it out. Or, I mean, you could just easily go to the wiki, but that's very helpful indeed. And we finally have our ability awakening updates. So Grimlord Sakura, Barbarizia together on the same awakening update. This is gonna be hype city. Now we have seen a preview of Grimlord Sakura and Barbarizia's awakenings, like when we were pulling for them, and both of them look spectacular, I have to say, and that's why I wanted my second Barbie, which I haven't had. But if you watch me in sequence, you would have seen that I got one of her for the first time from the 7-star release banner, which was so worth the pull. I just really need to wait for another one, and then I should be able to join the bandwagon. Yay! Yay! Alright, so, a lot of good stuff going to Grimlord Sakura. Obviously, none of her 7-star stuff is awakened. It's all of her 6-star, but Soul Barrage gets a higher mod. I think it ends up being a 6 times magic damage mod, which is really high. Of course, it also reduces MP cost. I think up to I think it's 50 MP right now, but it goes down to 45 if I remember correctly. So it's really good, and also more passive. So you know, increase magic when equipped with a fire weapon, increase HP dark weapon, MP increase with fire weapon, MP increase with dark weapon. As you know, if you use her, especially at a 7-star, use her. Is it called the Reaver? Her TMR, her trust ability is really good, and then obviously her trust mastery, perfect, is fire and dark weapon, and most likely you would gear her to be a true double hand mage, because it's a 2-handed weapon as well. So it's perfect. I mean, there's no reason not to awaken this at all. Now the only one I wasn't sure about to do was the Eldritch Flames, which it boosts the damage amount, also boosts the imperils as well. I think it's fire and dark imperil. And the only thing is, like, I unless it's for, I think, her TT frames, which again you need 7-star. TT frame skill does both fire and dark damage. Unless it's for that, this skill isn't worth it. But it, yeah, I mean, still pretty hype. Barbarizia, we talked about it before. More damage mods to her here. Her Eroja, Flurry, and Tornado, which is awesome. Wait, no. Yeah, removes the need of using. Okay, so Sunder is a finisher. Is this Cyclone Shield? No, it's one of them. Something she has that increases the damage mods to at least Tornado. I think maybe Eroja. I might be mistaken there. But again, yeah, Cyclone Shield. I mean, why not? You would do that. I think. I think it's the. Yeah, there's just one of them. I think it's her like self buff. Might be this one. Might be this one. Cyclone Shield. I mean, if you have a limited resources, it might not awaken that, but still really good. Now, Illusionist Nicole. This is the first time we're seeing some preview of his awakening abilities. So this is actually really cool. This is exactly what I wanted for him. The break. Illusion, terrifying visions. Boost turn in effect, as in a boost turn that the break is applied. I think it was a 3-turn break, if I'm not mistaken. So Boost turn effect low. Was that a 4-turn break? 4-turn break, yes please. If it's 5-turn break, even better. Boost attack and magic reductions low. It's 1 second here. I'm gonna actually pull it up so I actually can do a best estimate here. I'm pretty sure this would be a 50% break. 50% break should be like, you know, pretty, you know, it's not OP. Okay? 50% break is not OP, especially after an enhancement. So I'm gonna take a really quick look here. Oh, I see. Okay, no. So the break is a 2-turn. So okay, so it's probably going into 3-turn then. So it's less broken. Decrease attack and magic by 45%, which is really helpful to have. That was originally, but I think the boost attack and magic reduction low, I think that would become a 50% break. So that's pretty good because he can dual cast this while he's dual casting something else, either illusion doppelganger, illusion phantasmal forces, or illusion redirect. So illusion redirect is really cool too because it has as most people know, you can cast basically a cover skill on any unit, doesn't matter who, for physical cover damage. It has 30% damage mitigation, so it's pretty decent, and it has 100% cover, 100% chance. So that's really great. But it also boosts defense and spirit for that ally that you cast it to, and then +2 boost defense and spirit to mid, and then boost turns and effect low. It's a 2-turn, so most likely becomes a 3-turn cover, which is way easier for him because then it gives him more opportunity to either use his LB, which grants, like, I think it's a physical AoE mirage, I think, yeah. Which is really awesome, and it has heals and also recover MP over time. So it really makes him really usable for a 4-star unit. Illusionist guys, let me quickly look at this. Okay, so it has originally it was a 30% magic, 30% spirit passive. 30% magic will equip with a hat, 30% spirit equipped with the clothes, but now it has boost MP equipped with a hat, which is great because he has MP problems. He really does have MP problems, but the +2 is so worth it. Boost HP equipped with clothes, but also boosts restores MP each turn, which is something that he really needed in my opinion. I always ran out of MP because I ran out of turns be able to actually properly use his LB. And so I always had to gear him up with some MP refresh gear, but now if he has an innate 5% MP refresh, way easier to deal with. And obviously we have everyone else up here. Now there is no information, at least from me, like most of these units are not like on JP. So Kegnazo, Rubicant, Pirate Jake, Kegnazo, Rubicant are different in JP than global. So here, you know, this coming, I guess tomorrow, we'll know what their awakening abilities are like, which would be interesting. I personally don't think Pirate Jake is going to improve much. I mean, he's okay, but I don't think anything in his kit would, you know, be increased even if he has enhancements. Chloe might be interesting because Chloe can also buff killers, so I would like to see her enhancements, but I could reference JP, and William, William, just ignored. Anyways, this is really exciting. We'll see what they're like. All right, that is it for the news for now. So I mean, like I said at my beginning there, that rant on news stuff, it's only ranty for me because, you know, as a content creator, I would like to be, you know on time for you guys, so you guys get the best information early on. But yep, doesn't work out that way. In a way, it's sort of good because then I can break down these videos, I guess, into 2 parts. It's more easily digestible, and you guys can select what you guys want to, you know, watch. So if tomorrow the banner news does come, hopefully it does because this will be Thursday by then. When it comes, then we'll take a look at it, and I'll probably spend a bit more time on it, so I'm not limited in time. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about the, you know, all the ability awakening updates, the events coming, and the news so far. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this session and enjoyed my little rant at the beginning. So if you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.